Alrighty, it's a beautiful Saturday. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? All right, so where is this coming from? Intentional stress. So I have talked about it multiple times, and I think I talked about it a little bit yesterday on the book review, which I highly recommend. I don't have it around here. It's called Brain Rules. So in other words, the rules that our brain essentially governs itself, its survival, its thriving, how we became the apex creature in the animal kingdom, how we were able to survive, how we were able to replicate, and essentially going forward to the future. So the reason that I actually liked the book and the reason that I actually enjoy just learning as much as I can about mental health is because that's the future. I talked about it yesterday, is that we already have pretty much all the food that we want. We have grocery stores. There's stores of food. Okay, you tell an ancestor 100,000 years ago, by the way, you're going to be able to go to a central location given a monetary amount of money that was completely created out of nowhere that everybody agrees upon. It's called currency. And you're going to be able to pick up food instead of go hunt or try if it's good. And by the way, it was grown by someone else. It was shipped to this central location by someone else. And all you have to do is just pick it up. I don't think they would believe you. They'd be like, oh, okay, that's great. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let me go out on another 12-mile per day run to hunt, to get food, to I don't know, whatever else they had to do to survive. Okay, get water and whatnot. The reason I'm saying this is that, and I've talked about it multiple times, obviously the hierarchy of needs is already met. Okay, we can all agree upon that. In most people that are watching this video, our hierarchy of needs: food, water, shelter, clothing, and then from there it starts going up, which is, things that are intangible, which is like love and confidence and, building resources. But the pinnacle is actually mental health right now. Okay, so before it was people starving, it was disease, it was healthy water, it was sanitary conditions or human waste, to be able to get rid of that sanitarily so it wasn't just thrown out onto the streets, which was almost not even 100 years ago in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And before then, there's still communities that don't have paved roads, but their main thing is not the basics of survival. So this is the thing. Where did this get all triggered from? I read an article, actually I was forwarded an article that 5 triathletes have died this year already in the swim. Okay, so if you understand what a triathlete is, they first start on the swim, then they go to the bike, and then they run. But my question is, why not biking and running? Okay, so biking, your heart rate is about 155. Okay, that's where I want to keep it. 155, by the way, is pretty high. Okay, running is 160. Sometimes it goes up to 165, 170, but your heart can't sustain that. Okay, so then you start zonking, okay? And then pushing beyond that, it's just, your body will start to shut down, okay? Okay, this is the thing. When you're swimming, your heart rate doesn't really get up to 155, 160. And the reason being is that you're cooler in the water, okay? You are also, you're moving, but it's not an aggressive motion of your whole body. So when you're running, you're moving your whole body against gravity. Okay, in the water, you have a wetsuit on and you're kind of buoyant as well. So the actual toughness of it. But this is the thing, is that they all died of probably cardiac arrest and then they drowned. Okay, why do I bring all this up and then I'll go to intentional stress? The reason that I'm saying all this is because you add in that you're doing intense workout, which is swimming, but this is the thing. When you're swimming in a pool, it's easy because you know that you could see the bottom. You know you can go to the edge or stand up at any time. You can stop at any time. But when you're in open water, you're getting pushed around by other people. You're getting dunked on. There is water getting splashed. So when you're swimming and you go up for a breath of air and you get a lake full of water, you freak out a little bit because that was your time to get water, okay? So my total just hypothetical reason is that there's really hard ways to actually replicate that type of stress in a regular environment. Why is SEAL training so difficult? Because that's what war is, okay? Navy SEAL training is so hard because they don't want you quitting. If you quit in training, you're gonna quit on the battlefield, and that means you and potentially your brothers are gonna die. Okay, that's why they make it as stressful as possible. It's yes, it's physically demanding, but everyone there is a specimen, is a physical specimen. So it's really, what's your mental capacity for stress? And they know that because when it's cold, or when you are lacking oxygen, or you have a 3 to 5 mile swim to get to your destination or to get to your target, or you're out on the battlefield and you lack food, water, nutrition, it's really hot out and you have to climb a mountain range, or whatever the case is that you don't fold, okay? So I wrote it yesterday, and it's going to be controversial, and the reason being is that it was, I think Jordan Peterson who recently said, and I never thought about it this way, is that one of the worst movements in the recent movements was in the 70s, where they said that you're good. You're good the way you are, okay? And the problem with that, as Jordan alluded to, is that if I tell you, hey, listen, whoever you are, you're amazing, okay? You're great the way you are, okay? If someone told me that, which my parents in society were telling me that at age 22, I was getting told that, even though I had no prospects of any success. School, I was terrible at. I wasn't making any money. I was in debt. Okay, relationship-wise was non-existent with girls. Okay, I had a pretty good friend group. Okay, but the thing is, people were telling me I was good, but I didn't feel good. Okay, do you understand that? So, if someone is telling me that I'm good, and you're fine the way you are, that really screws with your mind, because you're saying, but I'm not good. I don't know why you're telling me that. So you have this real big dichotomy that's going on, which is people are telling you you're good, and then if you start believing I'm good, but deep down inside is really the root cause and you're really not good, then you start believing that root cause, and then you say, people are telling me I'm good, but I'm not good, so I guess this is as good as I'm gonna get. And then they just accept that. So instead of that, I'll give you an example. Recently I was out on the bike trail with one of the guys that I ride with, and I told him straight up, I was like, dude, kind of hauling ass right now, in a bad way. In other words, he's dragging ass. I was like, dude, you're kind of dragging ass right now. Pumping him up. Like, dude, what's going on? Are you drinking too much? Are you partying too much? How's the nutrition? Is the girl getting in the way? How's work? It's kind of like, I know your potential is better, and I'm going to call you out on that. That really should be the movement, okay? So I'm going to go back to the intentional stress, which is you go to the gym to stress your muscles. Everyone is fine with that, okay? You stress your muscles when you run or you bike or you're doing yoga, okay? You're stressing, and you're essentially stressing the fibers, and you're expanding it to make yourself more flexible. That's fine. That's accepted by society. Nobody has a problem with that, weirdly. But then when we start talking about mental and intentional stress on your brain, that's when people start breaking down and they don't start believing you. But the problem is that is more important than your body, stressing your body. Because if you are lethargic, if you start to believe that intentional stress on your brain, and people start putting on these little safe coatings around you, they start protecting you from all of the things, okay? And we're seeing a lot of this, okay? But the thing is, it's not good. It is not good. Every psychologist, every psychiatrist agree that if you have a fear of something, you have to ease into it. Fear of public speaking, a fear of snakes, a fear of needles, giving blood, or a hospital. If you have a fear of anything, it is a slow process to introduce it. Maybe you have a fear of snakes. all you have to do is just stay in the room. It's in a cage. It's far away. Then you move the cage a little bit closer. Then you move the cage a little bit closer. Then a little bit closer, blah, blah, blah. And then you say, just look at it. That's it. So essentially, you're intentionally stressing your fear, okay, your comfort zone, your ability to not atrophy your brain, okay? This, I swear this will change your life, okay? And I'm going to get back to the beginning because when I'm in the water, I've done 2 triathlons. I've been swum over, whatever. Someone has swam over me, okay, and dunked me under. And it's not even on them. It's not intentional. There's hundreds of people around. You know, I've been kicked. I've been pulled on. You know, I've swallowed a lot of water when I'm in the lake, when I'm trying to get air. Okay, those I can tell you are the most stressful moments. Okay, and ironically enough, is that I was fine. I was fine, and I started thinking about it. Why was I fine? And I heard a lot of people complaining about just the way that they did the swim at the last Ironman. You know, they had big waves of people instead of smaller waves of people going out into the water. And I thought about it, I said, because they live in a comfort zone. They live in a bubble their whole life. And then they expect that because they did training, they are physically fit, but they're not mentally ready. They're not mentally prepared to take on the stress of, say, water, okay? My friends, this will be probably the most important thing that you do. Because if you can intentionally pull your brain and just move elastically the comfort zone that you have, it's not no. And I've already talked about it, it's a childhood star that is now into drugs because they were pushed out into this big stardom really earlier in their life, but they weren't ready for it. You know, the best comics, the best actors, the best actresses, the best business people are the ones that had so many years before them. Jordan Peterson is a perfect example. He started in, I think, 1982, lecturing, 1978 or something like that. 30 years. And then he started putting out his YouTube videos 8 or 9 years ago. Okay? It's not like he's overnight. All right? Everyone talks about, the 30-year overnight success. Okay? So I believe that my ability to deal with sales calls, my ability to say, that's a pretty girl, I'm going to approach her, okay? And talk to her and say, listen, you're a pretty girl, just wanted to come and say hi, all right? The opposite, this is the thing, is that most people, they want to wait until it feels right. I feel motivated. It feels good. No one's around. I'm by myself. I just had an amazing workout. They're looking for this plethora of perfect circumstances that don't exist. All right? So this is what they do. They wait for that moment, okay? And say they take action. Say they make calls or they go to the gym or they approach that pretty girl, whatever, something that pushes them outside of their comfort zone. They do it once. They do it on a Monday, all right? Excuse me, the problem is by Tuesday, your brain said, only if these circumstances are lined up and they're all in favor of us, will we take action. That's not a good outcome, okay? Brian Johnson at Optimize.me, highly recommend you go check him out. He said something very interesting. He says that when he doesn't feel like doing something is when he needs to do it most. So it's not about the outcome. It is not about how he feels. It is not about the emotions or the motivation. It is about the fact that he's telling his brain, I'm going to take action, whether you're on board or not, okay? So your brain is no longer in control. You are. You are saying, Tuesday, I am going to make calls. I don't need perfect circumstances. I am intentionally stressing my mindset, my comfort zone, my ability to deal with things that I didn't think I could deal with. And I'll leave you with this because it's 1:17. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed is that my running has improved a lot. Okay? there will be a baseline that you'll reach, okay? This is really, really essentially when the outcome happens, okay? It is June 15th right now. I've been training for 5 months, almost every single day. 98% of the last 5 months have been training, whether it's swimming, weightlifting, biking, or running, okay? That's a lot. What I noticed in the last 7 days, my resting heart rate is 44 beats per, 44, okay? I was happy at 51. Imagine 6 less beats per minute. And I started equating better nutrition, better fitness, better sleep. Okay, those are the 3 things. And then I went for a run today, and I was sub 7 minutes a mile. Okay, I was at 6:48 after a 44-mile bike ride. 44-mile bike ride, and I went into a 4.5-mile run. Okay, that's known as a brick workout, where you brick a biking into a run. My baseline is now under 7 minutes. That's my baseline. So as you start approaching these pretty girls, you're gonna say, my baseline of what I accept into my life is someone that is also into fitness. She's not just pretty, she brings more to the table. My baseline of sales calls is someone that respects me, listens to me, and is a great client and refers me business. Your baseline will start to improve as you convince yourself that it's not about my emotions, it is not about my logic, it is all about the process. I make calls between these certain days every single day, or these certain hours every single day. Okay? That is intentional stress. Okay? Because when that moment happens, when that opportunity happens, you're ready. All right? This probably is the most important thing that I've discovered in the last month. Okay? And I'm thinking almost every single day for multiple hours about how to make my life a little bit better, how to give you guys better content, how I can improve my lifestyle, give myself more freedom. So hope you enjoyed that. If you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. Enjoy your Saturday. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and grandfathers and godfathers and everyone else. So have an amazing weekend. If you have any questions, obviously in the comments below.